Alrighty, what's good everyone? So we're just a few hours away right now from the next big stream for Dokkan. In about 4 to 5 hours, we're going to be getting our stream for the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, the next campaign for the game of course, and probably the final big campaign of 2025. Already, so many people have been throwing out predictions on who we want to see from this campaign as a whole. So today, even though it is very last minute, I want to go ahead with you guys and share my predictions for the campaign as well in terms of who I hope the new characters are going to be, as well as talking about what I hope to see from the campaign as a whole. Hope you guys will enjoy the vid though. If you do, show your support down below, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, share the vid, comment down below your thoughts as well, and let me know what do you hope to see from the campaign as a whole, not just the new characters, but what do you hope is done correctly, be it the new events, the new EZAs or potential super EZAs. Let me know all this sort of stuff in the comments down below. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and continue on with this vid. So obviously, as I just mentioned earlier, this campaign is probably going to be the final big campaign of 2025 apart from the New Year's banners. Now, the reason why this is the case, in case you guys may be wondering, is because given the timeline of things, this is probably going to be the final campaign that fits in the timeline that we saw from the Golden Week celebration. So if you guys remember this graphic from the Golden Week celebration, basically about 3 to 4 months ago, right? This was basically the updated timeline of how things are going to be working every single year. So at the beginning of the year, right, post-unification, the beginning of the year is going to be the Supreme Celebration, aka the anniversary, right? So this year we have the 10th anniversary. This already fits the timeline. Then basically about like a half a month to a month ago, right, we had our GDC celebration, which I still need to make a few vids on that. But with the GDC celebration, right, it's the second anniversary size campaign, and it is supposed to be happening in July to August, which pretty much fits when it happened, right? The beginning of July, going through basically like the first week or so of August, maybe like the first 2 weeks of August, and then it pretty much ended once the Pepe Gal banner like kind of went live, right? So that's the final, that was the last big campaign. Now we have this new campaign, and as you can see with the diagram, this is supposed to be the revamped, updated version, if you will, of the Tanabata celebration, Tanabata 2.0, as I've seen some people call it. And for those who don't know, right, the Tanabata celebration is basically the thank you celebration. It's like a holiday, if I remember correctly. So this is the celebration that JP used to get in the past when the international, the global version, would get their anniversary. So for JP, if you're trying to think about characters who fit this bill, think of characters last year like Tekui Goku, AGL Jiren, right? The recent EZA for Vegeta and Trunks and Int Merge Zamasu LRs, right? They were Tanabata characters, right? So those are the kinds of characters who fit this sort of bill as far as the Tanabata campaign. Based off the whole kind of setup of things, it is very likely that in terms of structure, the new campaign, right, this whole transcendent kind of a Dokkan campaign right here, it's very likely that this campaign is going to follow a very similar structure. Maybe 2 characters, right, 2 new characters, 1 Dokkan Fest LR, 1 Carnival LR, some EZAs, maybe some sub EZAs, or maybe a super EZA, and then just kind of keep it pushing. Most likely, this is not going to be nearly on the scale of the anniversary or the GDC celebration, because they said there's going to be 2 anniversary size campaigns. Obviously one of them is the anniversary itself, and then the other was the GDC celebration. So this is probably going to be much more tame in the grand scheme of things. And I will say, this is actually a pretty nice thing, because obviously this is coming from September to October. We just pretty much got done with the GDC campaign. We have no time for players, especially free-to-play players like myself. I only have 50 Dragonstones saved up, because I did spend a bit on the Gohan banner, I'm going to be honest. I did get Gohan, but still, I spent maybe 150 stones. If I kept that, I would only have 200 stones going into this new campaign. There is not a lot of time between the celebration from GDC to now. So the fact that this is going to be a bit more tame is kind of nice, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, but still, it's going to be our final big campaign, it would seem like. And obviously, given the timing of things, it's probably going to be starting at the beginning of September, or at the very earliest, the final few days of August, I would suspect. But anyways, I've been kind of jibber-jabbing about this, the whole timeline. The fact of the matter is, based off the timeline of events, how this campaign is going to be starting, it does seem pretty obvious that this is going to be our next big final campaign of 2025, apart from, again, the New Year's kind of a Dokkan Fest, dual Dokkan Fest, where we usually get a nice New Year's banner, 2 really cool characters, and then we go into 2026, getting ready with the countdown for what will be the 11th anniversary. So in terms of the timing of things, this campaign is going to be very important. When it comes to the stream, my expectation, we don't know what the stream is going to have, of course, just quite yet, but my expectation from the stream is we're going to be seeing how the campaign is going to be structured. So we'll see how the whole kind of breaking down the events and everything is going to be. We'll see what new content is going to be coming to the game, of course. And obviously, we'll be seeing the new characters. Maybe just the one singular new character. Maybe it's going to be like Tanabata in the past, where we only get 1 new premier character. And then part 2 of it, if you will, was going to have the Carnival LR or something. But we're probably going to be seeing a new character, how the kit and everything looks. And also, my hope is that we're going to be seeing maybe an EZA and a super EZA. One of my criticisms of the Tanabata celebration last year, I wish I pulled this up, is that the last year Tanabata celebration, right, so last July-ish, if you will, there was Tekiwai Goku, there was AGL Jiren, there was some cool EZAs and, you know, stuff like that. However, we didn't get a super EZA, right? And that was like a big kind of disappointment for me. My hope is this time around they're going to rectify that, right the wrong, if you will, and give us a super EZA on top of the other EZAs that we probably should be getting, right? So that's kind of my big hope, if you will, in terms of like what I want to see. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the stream, I don't know how long it's going to be, and I don't expect it to be that crazy in the grand scheme of things, probably just like the general important information that every player needs to know. Now, before we talk about who I expect the new characters are going to be, and obviously talking about my predictions, the final thing I want to bring up is the fact that Dokkan basically tried to give us a hand-me-out in terms of guesswork, right? So for those of you who didn't see the post, right, basically about 3 days ago, but at this point, like 2.5 to 3 days ago, we had this image from Dokkan. This is the only teaser image that Dokkan has given us going into this stream, and I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this, you guys are gonna think I'm so dumb. I looked at this and immediately thought, oh, this must be God of War. This is like Kratos. Like, I don't know why. I must have been watching like some God of War vids like on YouTube and stuff the past few days. But this immediately, like in my mind, I was thinking Kratos. Like, no joke. So I was completely like away from Dragon Ball. I had no idea what this could be referring to. Like, I'll be honest, some of the previous teaser images I feel like have been a bit more obvious than this one, like the Mercenary Town one. I feel like that was pretty obvious. If you guys saw my prediction vid, I was kind of coping for some different options, but still, you know, that was kind of obvious. This one I feel like is a bit less so clear cut in terms of who the character can be. Maybe that's on purpose from Dokkan's point of view, but it is very interesting. Obviously, you got so many people thinking it's Daima time, you know, different characters, Kurt Angle, which is really crazy. You know, people are thinking it's like the clock, so I guess it's like the Namek thing, all sorts of different stuff. There was just so many different ideas, even like right here. So with the recent Peton battle information, people are saying this means it's going to be Tournament of Power, and honestly, like it's very interesting seeing all the different kind of predictions. My honest point of view is probably going to be one of 3 to 4 things, right? So it's either going to be Daima, it's going to be Namek, it's going to be maybe Tournament of Power, or it could be Revival of F. And the reason why I say Revival of F, throwing that in there, is because it's a gold medal, right? Gold, the shine of it, the brilliance of it, that's the type of stuff that would be said by Golden Frieza. And for those of you who remember, the final EZA that we're waiting from 2020 is this angel Frieza right here who can transform into Golden Frieza. Technically it's from the Tournament of Power, but still, you know, we're waiting his EZA to finish off the year of 2020. We're still awaiting some major EZAs for characters like the Resurrection of F, you know, the blues and everything right there, like the not tag blues, but like, you know, Goku exchanges into Vegeta, and also the LR Golden Frieza. So when you look at all those different characters, you know, there is a lot of opportunity for Frieza to come into play, especially because we haven't really had a lot of, you know, like Wicked Bloodline kind of stuff in that sort of respect, right? When you look at the Wicked Bloodline category, let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys real quick. With the Wicked Bloodline category, the thing about it is we have gotten a major, like, important character during the 10th anniversary with this Go Frieza right here, right? Goku and Frieza. To be fair, it's not the best character in the world. Even during the anniversary, it wasn't respected that much by a lot of players. They're still decent, but they're like kind of like they have their moments, and then other moments they just kind of fall flat. This is the only Frieza, or like Cooler, or like this is the only Wicked Bloodline Frieza family related character that we've seen since this whole year, right, during the 10th anniversary, and that was during part 2. Since then, you know, the only kind of other special stuff we've been getting is perhaps some like EZAs and whatnot, but otherwise it's been very tame. So all things considered, with the image, like the image and everything, the missing EZAs and everything, my assumption is it's probably going to be Frieza. My assumption is going to be probably like Resurrection of F Frieza, or probably Tournament of Power Frieza. Now, I'm not sure what they're going to do with Tournament of Power if they do that, because they already took what is one of probably Frieza's best moments from the whole like arc from Tournament of Power with Goku and Frieza. Like, that's, you could argue that's probably Frieza's best moment, but they took that away. What are they going to do for Frieza? I have to wonder, because if it is Tournament of Power, yes, the problem is Frieza doesn't have that many other highlight moments in the arc itself, right? I mean, you know, when we look at Frieza, right, let me go ahead and just kind of look at the Tournament of Power, I guess, as a category. Let me just go through that, right? When it comes to Frieza, Frieza has some okay moments. Obviously, Go Frieza is the best of it, I would say. But also you have Frieza in 17, so that's, you know, pretty dope moment. Of course, fighting Jiren near the end there. You know, the whole Team Universe 7 right here. Those moments work, but you know, Frieza himself is not the lone gun kind of hero in those moments. So I don't know what they'll do. Like, I don't know how they're gonna phrase that, or how they're gonna frame it, I should say. Me personally, I think if it's tournament, I assume it's gonna be tournament power, because that would kind of fit in line with this whole kind of easy A for a Golden Frieza right here. If it's not that, then it has to be Resurrection of F, because I just don't see any reason why this character should be ignored. And I mean, given the whole theme of gold and everything, it seems like Frieza is the most obvious. I mean, the only other exception is probably for me like Namek, and I'll talk about Namek in just a sec, but for me, just understand, my prediction is it's probably going to be Frieza, maybe something about like Dragon Ball Super, Resurrection of F, or Tournament Power. Now, moving to Namek, because you guys know me, I'm a Namek fan, let's talk about Namek. As much as I would like Namek to be a part of a big celebration, as much as I think Namek could be part of this celebration with this whole kind of Transcendent Dokkan campaign and stuff, I do not think this is when it should happen for a few reasons, okay? Hear me out here. The first thing is that I just don't think it makes sense in terms of what is best for this category, right? When we think about this category, right, and I talked about this issue months ago, right? The thing about this category is when you look at the years that we're focused on, 2020 to 2022, like there aren't really any Namek related buffs. There's nothing Namek related to happen, right? I mean, the only Namek buffs that were like kind of existent were things like AGL Captain Ginyu right here, right? And he already was Easy Aid with Mercenary Tau. The Ginyu Easy Aid wasn't even that great, to be honest, but like the Namek related options, the opportunities have already come and gone. The only way you can throw in Namek now is to make like this whole kind of crazy buff for like Super Saiyan Goku, Worldwide Celebration Cooler, you know, Frieza's, Goku's of all different timelines or something. Then you can maybe make that case. But I mean, in terms of the Easy A potential, that alone is already kind of steering me away from Namek, at least for the time being, because I mean, you guys know, again, I love Namek, and Namek is a category that is just going through it. It is so bad. There are some characters in there who are like respectable, I guess, or you could be like, okay, they're fine. Like Frieza, I mean, you could say he's cool and everything. Namek Goku's cool, I guess. The Ginyu Force, they're cool, whatever, especially if you have them together. But for the most part, the category is not a category you want to run. It's not a category that you'll be happy to, you know, have missions for. Like, I just don't see this category being a great choice of focus for this new campaign, even if we're getting a new Frieza and a new Super Saiyan Goku. I love Super Saiyan Goku, but I just don't think it makes sense for that reason alone. The second thing, and to be honest, this is more just me being petty, I need Namek to finally be on an anniversary after... I mean, has Namek ever been on an anniversary? I have to think about this. I don't think it has, because first anniversary was Gogeta, or Fusion Reborn, let me put it that way. Second anniversary was the Super Saiyan 4s. Third was the Fusions. Fourth was Super Saiyan 4s. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Namek has ever been a part of an anniversary. I'm genuinely trying to think of it as I'm saying this. The only opportunity Namek has been a part of the anniversary is with Easy A's, right? Like the Easy A for Namek Goku. Beyond that, yeah, Namek has been going through it. So I really need Namek to be held off for an anniversary. I don't know what Uematsu and the development team has against Namek, because this is one of the best arcs in all of Dragon Ball in my opinion. But I really need them to hold off on this. Save Goku, save Frieza, at least save one of them and put them in the anniversary for the 11th anniversary. Then I'll be chilling, then I'm okay. But just don't do Namek right now. I understand that some people may be saying, hey, you know, we're talking about gold, you know, Frieza, yes, but also Goku, Super Saiyan, golden hair, the Golden Warrior. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you 10,000% that is a reasonable, like, you know, connection to make. But again, I just don't think that this is the best timing of things for Namek. I feel like it's better to kind of go into the new year. If Namek gets hit with a new character right now, we need to understand the 11th anniversary is probably going to hit us with another power creep. And already we've had some insane power creep in the past few like weeks, right? When the 11th anniversary hits, these characters, the new Namek characters, they're going to get screwed. They're going to be destroyed. They're going to be useless. And it is going to be depressing once again to be a Namek fan. Honestly, I'm going through it. Like, every time I look at this category, I cry inside. Especially looking at Dragon Ball Legends where Goku and Frieza are running PvP, where they're running the game, where they're basically toxic. Let's be honest. They're toxic. They're working together. But they're so good there. I wish they were as good here. Like, obviously not like toxic in that sense, but like, you know what I mean. I hope they were just that powerful. And I just don't think that's going to happen if Namek is the focal point of this whole kind of campaign. So I gotta be honest, that's just what I'm thinking about this whole kind of situation. Now, the final one that I've been seeing a lot of people talk about is Daima, right? Toon Ramen kind of put the post right there. Shout out to Toon Ramen, of course, but he was talking about Daima. the thing about Daima is, Daima fans, you guys have been going through it, right? Daima fans especially, I think more than Namek fans, Daima fans have really been going through it, because for Daima, it's like a case of being gaslit up to oblivion. And then beyond that, the thing is, every time we've had one of these campaigns now, everyone's been saying, hey, I mean, it's just Daima once again. Like, you can look at this. Everyone is saying one day it's not going to be Daima. People are saying it right now. Like, every time when we have one of these big campaigns and stuff, people have been saying that Daima is going to be happening, and it never happens, right? Think back to this whole timeline, right? Once we had the anniversary, right? We went through our thing, whatever. Once the anniversary ended with Part EX for Daima Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, then people were saying, hey, we just need more Daima. Golden Week, you know, maybe some Daima, no Daima in Golden Week. Maybe, you know, the GDC campaign, the big anniversary celebration, right? Obviously, we gotta have Daima. No Daima whatsoever. In fact, you could argue they kind of trolled us because they gave us Super Saiyan 4, but not Daima Super Saiyan 4. So they really kind of stayed away from Daima so far. I think they're gonna stay away from it once again. And to be honest, I think that's for the best. I mean, maybe I'll make a separate vid talking about this. I don't think Daima should approach any of these campaigns as a standalone, you know, just toss in kind of thing. The reason why is because so far when you look at Daima, we've gotten 3 premier characters, right? Daima Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Super Saiyan Daima Goku, and Glorio, right? You could probably argue he's still the best of all 3, but Vegeta, I think recently his values like come up slightly. But all 3 are the only premier characters that we've gotten, and obviously with Daima, there are still a lot of cool moments and or characters that we're still waiting to see, right? Obviously, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, without a question. Mini Goku and Adult Goku. Super Saiyan 3 Mini Goku, right? Super Saiyan 3 Adult Vegeta, right? I mean, you're talking about Tamagami number 3, Tamagami number 2. I mean, I wouldn't say Tamagami number 1, but I mean, you could throw him in there too. You know, you got Majin Ku, you got Majin Du, you got those characters, Goma, you know, Dr. Aransu for the freaks out there. I'm just kidding, you know, Dr. Aransu is, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if she was out there too, I'm not gonna lie. But I think she's probably gonna be like a Pepe Gals character. Anyways, point being, there are still a lot of things that we're hoping to see from Daima. And overall, we haven't really tapped into the bucket or the well of options that are available. So I just think for the grand scheme of things, it is best that they save Daima and build up to what is obviously the climax of the whole Daima arc, if you will, or the Daima show with Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Goma. I've been saying for like some time now, I think it can be an anniversary worthy choice if they save Daima for that. But I feel like the best way for them to do this is to do what they did with... I feel like the best thing they should do is do Dragon Ball Super Superhero once again and basically build up Daima step by step, character by character, leading up to dual character LRs with Goma, with Goku, however they want to do it. But I think that is the best approach, because Daima is one of those things where if you just go right now and we just toss in Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Goma into this next kind of campaign, there's no reason to do so. Like, there's no benefit, because then the other characters from Daima, like, you know, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and stuff, they don't get as much hype as Super Saiyan 4 Goku for a lot of players, I feel like. And that's one thing. The other thing is, what EZAs are going to be happening? You really have to kind of go out of left field to justify EZAs and other options. So you really have to kind of work your way to make things work. I just don't think it makes sense. If anything, I would say it is wiser for them to build things up, as I'm suggesting, as opposed to going with anything Daima related for this campaign. But anyways, you know, that's just kind of my predictions of the whole thing. Again, you know, I know people want Daima, Namek, I get it. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it's practical in terms of what is the best thing for those 2 teams, for those categories. Daima's not even a category, but I think it's better for both of them if they were to either be built up over time or really just start off with the 11th anniversary, start on a new year with a new meta, new updated kits and everything, and keep it pushing forward. I think that may be the better thing for both sides in that respect. When it comes to the whole, you know, Tournament of Power, Resurrection of F, I think Resurrection of F, and the more I think about it, I was thinking Tournament of Power, and now I think about it more, I think Resurrection of F is probably best. And the reason why is because with these big campaigns so far, if we think about it, with the exception of the Golden Week celebration, so far, all the big celebrations, well, with the exception of Golden Week and Saiyan Day, I should say, the 2 big anniversary scale celebrations, they have featured tag characters. I wouldn't be surprised if Dokkan continues with the whole tag focus and give us Resurrection of F, give us ROF, you know, Frieza and everything, as well as the tag blues right here. I wouldn't be surprised by that, because I think it could draw on a lot of hype. Obviously, you get the EZAs for these characters right here, maybe the EZA for Frieza right here, some super EZAs, probably like for some other characters out there. I think there's a lot of opportunities in the grand scheme of things. So, you know, if you ask me, this may be the best route going forward. So yeah, I think I'm gonna say right now, I think that's what I hope to see from this whole kind of thing in its entirety. Now, the final thing I kind of want to touch on in terms of the whole campaign, like as far as what I expect this campaign to be just a bit better than, not even a bit better, I expect it to blow Golden Week Celebration out of the water. So far, when we talk about the 5 big celebrations in Dokkan this year, we have the anniversary, we have Saiyan Day, we have Golden Week, we have GDC, and we have this, Tanabata 2.0, the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, whatever you want to call it. The fact of the matter is, the GDC campaign so far, and most likely is going to end as the best campaign of this entire year. It's certainly, in my opinion, one of the best campaigns of many years in Dokkan. The 10th anniversary has been really great overall as well. There are flaws in it, no doubt, some really annoying issues, but overall it's still fantastic. Really, when you look at the other 2 smaller celebrations in between the 2 right here with the Saiyan Day campaign and also the Golden Week celebration, the Golden Week celebration is probably worse, you could say, than the Saiyan Day celebration from a specific standpoint. And the specific standpoint is that, for one, Dokkan was so off the dark, off the grid, they didn't tell us anything about the new characters going into the campaign. We had to rely on leaks to give us the information that we were hoping to see from Dokkan as far as the teaser for the new characters. And on top of that, the most hype character within the whole campaign, which was Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, he was fumbled, severely fumbled, and that was very disappointing. The Golden Week campaign as a whole was not really that crazy. There were some cool moments and stuff, but still overall, this campaign needs to go really crazy, because Saiyan Day cannot be the highlight or the 3rd best in my opinion. Saiyan Day was awesome. This campaign should be much better. I expect LRs, I expect crazy easy ace, crazy cool characters. That's what I expect, and I hope they meet the mark and exceed it, because there is a lot of things riding on this, right? You know, first impressions last, which is the 10th anniversary, but also, you know, it's important not to leave things with a sour taste in everyone's mouths, and this campaign could be, you know, it can make or break it if in that sense, right? Like, this could be the defining campaign that decides if Dokkan 2025 is a W or an L. So I really need them to cook with this one. I really do. But I think, you know, it's going to be very interesting. Of course, again, Daima, I don't think Daima is the way to make this work in the grand scheme of things. We've seen from other campaigns now that you do not need Daima to make things work. You just need to tap into the hype factor, give good quality animations, great kits, really put in effort into the production quality and everything, and then Dokkan can cook. They made things work with Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta, the Blue Duo, the We Saiyans Have No Limits. They made it work with those characters. If they can work, let me pull these guys up real quick. They made it work with these 2. If they can make it work with them, then they can make anything work apart from just Daima for the sake of getting Daima out there. I genuinely believe that they can make things work. So yeah, I think Daima should be out of the picture. Honestly, I think stay away from Namek is fine, because like the whole theme of everything, Frieza's the character missing an easy and stuff. I think all those things make the resurrection of F or Tournament of Power better options than Namek. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but I think it's going to be very exciting to see how this campaign shapes up, and hopefully it is a banger to say the least. But in any case, that's going to be where we wrap up the vid. Again, if you guys enjoyed the vid, show your support down below, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below your thoughts, and again, let me know, what do you hope to see accomplished with this celebration, with this campaign? What do you hope is done really well? Be it the new events, new characters, new Easy A's, or potentially some super Easy A's. Let me know, what do you want to see go really well with this campaign in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, stay blessed, and I will see you all in the next one.